I know that we live in a virtual world, but the thing that I think Joanne is going to cover is the importance of having a persona. So, Lakshmipathy, would you like to introduce our guest speaker you are responsible for bringing to us? And then we'll ask everyone else to stay muted until you have questions.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Uh, Thank you for being part of today's Tech Club event, Joanne. And she is our special guest for as a senior program manager at Microsoft. Apart from that, she is cloud solutions and customer experience and an AI expert as well. And apart from that, she is also a career guidance and coach and author of book. Let's join with me to give a big hands to her, and I will hand over this mic to join to continue further.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Lakshmi Pati. I know it's been forever since I was supposed to come, but here we are. It's come to fruition. And I think it's right on time because we are in 2024. And last year, when I was thinking about what I wanted to come and talk to you about, that
Mhm.
changed because, of
Yeah.
course, we're in a new year right now. And I know I thought about it very much. What did I want to come and impart to you? And what do I wish I knew when I was in university myself, when I was in undergrad or grad school, and when I was trying to think about what my future held? What do I wish somebody had told me then, right? So that they could inspire me to just go ahead and go for my dreams. So I'm gonna start presenting in a second, but before I do so, as you said, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about my background, who I am, and why I'm here today. And then I'm gonna talk about my topic today is how to make 2024 magical. And so I think 2023 was fantastic, but 2024 is here with us. And when I say magical, I mean all round. I mean, how do you make sure that professionally, in your career, in your personal life, in everything you do, that the next 11 and a half months count, right? How do you make sure that you land that dream job that you want to land, be it in tech or wherever it is that you want to go and do whatever it is that you want to do? What do you need to be doing today to prepare you for that future that you're looking for? And as you know, an immigrant myself, as somebody who was born in Kenya, raised in Kenya, and has come to America and literally has is living my dream right now, I'm a testament to the all dreams are indeed valid. So there's nothing stopping you from being who you want to be. There's nothing that's going to make you not achieve your dreams if you put in the work and if absolutely at least you take one or two things away from my talk today. I know you'll be inspired and you'll go ahead as students of STC to go ahead and do me proud so that one day when we meet on these streets, or if you come to work at Microsoft, I mean, I'd be happy to see you there as well. So, all right, so let me go ahead and start presenting here. Let me know when you guys are able to see my screen. All right, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So as Lakshmi already talked about, my name is Joanne Marime. I'm a senior program manager at Microsoft. I'm also a cloud solutions and customer experience SME. And as you all know, Microsoft has had a fantastic year last year where we launched quite a number of products. We launched Chat GPT, then we came right ahead with artificial intelligence. So right now, I think Microsoft is the company to watch, which we have not done that in the last maybe decade or so. I know Google and every other company has been ahead of us, but I can proudly sit here and say we are now ahead of the race, and we intend to be ahead of the race for a long time to come. So And other than that, I'm also a career and confidence coach. And this is a passion that I have because when I first arrived in America, I did get somebody who helped me to navigate the corporate world because you can imagine, and I know most of you are either from different countries, right? Maybe you've been born here and you're wondering, how do I navigate everything that I have to navigate and how do I get there? And I'm here to tell you that it's indeed possible, but with a lot of help and with determination, I'm exactly where I need to be. And I hope that some of the things that my story will inspire you to continue and do really, really well. And you can, these are lessons that can be borrowed across for everybody. It doesn't matter where you are. And I'm sorry, this is my cat. She's trying to compete for attention, so she might walk around. So excuse me for that. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm just gonna go to the next slide, a little bit about me. So as I already said, I was born and raised in Kenya in a very small village. You might not even be able to find it on the map if you try to look for it, but I hope we're there somewhere. I'm the youngest in a family of four. And at the same time, both of my parents are teachers. So I come from a very, very, very humble background. But my parents absolutely made sure that all their kids understood the value of education. And that's why I'm here today, because in my family, failure was not an option. And I remember my parents always saying, hey, we don't have money, but we do know that if we can give you education, you're going to go very, very far. And that's exactly the reason why I'm here today. And so my undergrad was in computer science, and I did this in Kenya. And I emphasize this to let you know that it doesn't matter where you are today. I used to think, well, maybe my undergrad does not matter because I did it in a country that's not in America, right? I came from somewhere that's not America. I didn't go to Harvard. I did not go to Yale. I didn't go to Columbia. But I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter that you're not in Harvard or you're not in Yale, because as long as you're excellent at what you do, trust me, the right job, the right people will find you because they found me. And I also was homeless a number of times. And I know that shocks people. And so a little bit about that. When I finished undergrad, I thought for sure I would walk out, start working in Microsoft or whatever company that was there back then, and my life would be fantastic. No, that's not what happened. So I got out of undergrad and I went into banking. I worked there for about 2 years. And unfortunately, that's when banking was starting to restructure at that point. So guess what? The last people in were the first people to be let go at that point. And so I was let go. And that I tried to call it, that was the beginning of boot camp for me. For the next 8 years, it was a struggle. Getting jobs in Kenya was and still is the hardest thing because it's a small country with a small economy. Everybody is learned out there. So unlike in America, where most people sometimes get to high school and they don't really have to do much to make a good living, back there, everybody has at least an undergraduate degree, right? So resources are many, but the economy cannot really support everybody. And at the same time, of course, there's the normal nepotism. You have to know somebody who knows somebody. You have to be from a family that is probably prominent, and you have networks, which we did not have. I mean, my parents were teachers, so that was not going to work. And so for a really long time, it was always, I got small jobs. I worked in restaurants. I worked in the slum in one of the most dangerous parts of Kenya, actually. And that opened up my eyes to how the other half lives, because as much as I came from a poor family, there was even people who were even poorer than than where I came from. So I think that time, as hard as it was, has made me who I am because I have empathy. I understand the struggle. And that's why I'm passionate about career and confidence coaching, because nobody talks about that where I come from. It's just get your degree, but then what do you do with it? Nobody's telling you what to do afterwards. So I wish the lessons that I learned in grad school would have been imparted to me in high school, even earlier. somebody would have talked to me that way, because I think I would have been much farther right now. And then I moved to the US in 2017 because my sister, in big part, was always kept telling me, Joanne, you're so smart. You were the top of your class. You were in the best high school, which would be considered sort of like a Yale. If it was here in America, it's one of the best schools ever. You're in the best university. But if you cannot find a job, that's crazy, right? So if you come to America, I promise you that things will turn around. So it took a really long time for me to get to the US, because if you're an immigrant here, you know how difficult it is to get a visa to step into the US. It's extremely difficult. So it took me, I think I was denied 6 times for my visa, from student visas to visitors visas to, it just was a denial after denial after denial. And so you can only imagine how I felt every single time. I thought my life was over, because it required resources that you will never get back, right? You pay money, but then you're told no, and you have to go rethink your entire life and start again. And then, the disappointment can make you quit. But I thank God for my family. After each session, and after I had a pity party for about a week, they would always tell me, get up, go back to work. Life has to go on. And so I would go on, get another job, get another side gig, get something to keep on going. But the dream was always there that if I could only get to the US, things would get better. So finally in 2017, and funny thing is, I had already applied to scholarships here. I already had scholarships, but somehow it was always no. Now I think about it, I see it as God kind of saying, wait, not saying no, because I was immature. I probably would not have had the success that I have today had I come earlier, just because I was not as focused, just because I did not know that, hey, I needed to make it or make it. There was no other way around it. So as much as it took so long, I'm grateful for it now. Of course, you're always grateful once you look back, but when you're going through it, it's really, really hard. And then, so I moved to the US in 2017. I started my MBA in International Business and Finance in Thunderbird School of Global Management, ASU in Arizona. So if you don't know Thunderbird, go Google it. It's one of the best schools I've ever been to. It changed my life. And I know STC is great, but I'm just saying, hey, I'm tooting my horn. My school is really, really good, because it was the only school that I'd ever gone to where day one, they told me, I know you thought you came to get your degree, but you actually came to get a job here. So you're here to get a job, and you have to do things differently. And I was shocked. I was like, I thought I paid, to come to a good school and get that paper. They're like, yeah, you're gonna get the paper. We know you're smart. That's definitely gonna happen. But what is the return on investment for you? It's that you have to land that job to make sure that your investment, which is what, $100,000, you get it back. How are you going to get that back, right? We have to do things from day one. And so, and I was lucky enough to meet a career coach that day. And her name was Angelique. And she told me, Joanne, you're a Black woman in America. Nobody had ever called me a Black woman before, because where I come from, everybody's Black. So nobody calls you Black woman, right? Like, you're Black, so nobody's pointing it out. But so I was shocked. I was like, I'm a Black woman, first of all, and I'm in America. Okay. So she's like, yeah, so things are going to be a little different for you. You're going to have to do things a lot faster, and twice. You're going to have to work twice as hard as everybody else in your class. And me being the good student that I am, I took that to heart, and I did exactly what she told me to do. She said, from now, we have to get your resume ready. In 7 days, recruitment season will be upon us. So within 7 days, reducing my CV, a curriculum vitae that's like, what, 6 pages to 1-pager resume, American style, that was hard, because I'm just thinking, oh my God, how do I shrink all this experience that I thought I had to a 1-pager? And then learning how to speak, because I was speaking really fast. So learning how to speak slower so Americans can understand what I'm trying to say. And then, the environment. And when I was looking around, I was so intimidated by my peers, my other colleagues in the class, because they're Americans. They know the language. They've been in business class. I'm a computer scientist. What do I know about, finance? I know nothing about that. So it was a little intimidating. But one thing was, I just told myself, what's the worst that can happen? I have been in the worst slum in the world, and I did not die. Nobody killed me. I worked there. It was the most dangerous place. So if I went through there, this is nothing. What's the worst that can happen? It's going to be great. And so I was lucky enough to get that help and to do the work. And within the first month, I'd already landed my internship for the next year at ExxonMobil. So it was really fast. I was one of the only two people that they came and picked from the school. So everybody all of a sudden paid attention. Who is this girl from Africa who's coming here and has been chosen over everybody else, right? So that boosted my morale quite a bit because I didn't even know that they would pick me. First, I had orange hair. So I thought, wow, this is ExxonMobil. How can they pick somebody who looks so ridiculous, right? But they didn't care. They just cared about what I had to say and, the problem solving skills that I brought onto the table. And might I add, they took me for a finance position. And at that point, I didn't even know what my major was going to be. So I kept telling them, hey, I am a computer scientist. I don't know anything about finance. They said, no, we don't care. We'll teach you finance. We can't teach you, but we can teach you finance. We want you. So that was like, okay, I'll join you guys. So I ended up going for an internship the next year. And through that internship, I got a full-time offer with them. So for me, my entire 2-year grad school time was great because I had a job already from the get-go. But it did not happen just like that. All my peers did not do the work that I did. They thought they had time. So when I was doing all the stuff, they thought I was crazy, right? They thought, why are you working so hard? Why are you sending these applications? Why are you like attending all these prep courses? And at night, you're trying to learn how to interview. They did not take it seriously until, of course, a year later, they realized they need an internship, right? They realized, oh my gosh, I actually do need a job because I'm graduating soon and I don't have options. And at that point, when I finished the internship and I had the full-time offer, I came back and I still worked with the same career coach. And she told me, Joanne, do not relax. Go to these national conferences. So I did all the conferences, which I would really encourage all of you here. If you're trying to figure out how to get a job, attend all the career conferences. I did. It helped me quite a bit. And when I got there, by the time I was graduating, I had 3 offers. So not just one, but 3, and great offers. But I decided to go back to ExxonMobil because I enjoyed the summer and I enjoyed the way they worked. And I see Asia with her hand up okay. So it was really interesting. And then, of course, I worked as a program manager and a financial analyst. And as a program manager, I went all over the world with them. That was the first time someone else was sponsoring my travel because I was working in this project called the Finance Transformation Program that was trying to consolidate all the finance ERPs into one under SAP HANA. Right. So I was working with SAP and I was doing all these crazy things. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, I'm an imposter. Like, this cannot be me. I cannot understand why these guys are asking me as the expert. Right. And that was so much fun. And so until the pandemic hit and the oil and gas industry kind of tanked at that point, and I said, well, okay, it's time to rethink my career. And that's how I ended up at Amazon, because I said, okay, I want to go back to tech. I've done this. I've done finance. I understand finance, but I don't want that to be my life. So that's how I ended up saying, okay, I want to go back into tech. And so I applied at Amazon, got in. I worked at AWS, which then led to Microsoft coming to call and say, hey, I wasn't actually looking for a job at Microsoft at the time. I had been applying over, the years, because when I was a kid, it was my dream to work at Microsoft, but I wasn't serious about it. I was just applying until somebody knocked on my door one day and said, hey, Joanne, you applied here. Do you want to come interview? And I was like, I forgot, what did I apply for? Because it had been so long, right? And I'd applied to almost 50 different positions. And I throw these numbers out there to tell you that Do not apply to just one position and just imagine that because somebody said no, oh my God, Microsoft rejected me. No, one department rejected you. That's it. And in Microsoft, that's like nothing because we have thousands of departments. So apply and apply and apply again. I promise you somebody will say yes. Same thing to Amazon. I applied so many times. I did not apply once. I think I did like 30 applications. I got a lot of no's, but I only needed one yes, and I got it. So you do not need to say, just because this company is telling me no, oh my God, my life is over. No, apply again. Someone else, someone else might look at you and say, okay, this is the right fit for us. And so then right now I'm working at Microsoft. I love love the team. I love what I do. And I decided I wanted to give back. I wanted to go back and do what I'm passionate about. So I launched my online business at the same time. I've been doing this for 2 years, and I'm happy to say I've helped quite a number of people. So I help ambitious professionals land their dream jobs so that they can make more money and lead fulfilling lives, similar to me, right? And you might ask me, who is an ambitious professional? An ambitious professional is you who sit it there. Why? Because you're going to school for a reason. Some of you want to be entrepreneurs. That's great. I'm an entrepreneur, so I understand the appeal to that. And either way, you're an ambitious professional because you want to be great at whatever you're doing. So if you want to learn how to navigate the corporate world and what is being looked at, I can help you. And I'm not here to say that you should come to me. I'm just saying, look for somebody who's been there. Let them pay them. I know people hate paying, but when you pay, you get what you pay for. If you do not pay for it, I'm sorry, it's going to be much harder, and you're going to have to go through around the mountain a million times, which you would have cut through if you just found somebody who's been there, been successful, and they'll tell you how to be successful. And so I'll pause there for a little while before I jump to the next slide for any questions.
Yes, thank you, Joanna. This is the Sam Chang. I'm Dean of School of Technology Computing. I truly appreciate your time. Okay, then my question is, you already have some experience in your home country. Also, you came to the USA, you studied. But I think all of your experience, even your home country, helped you come to this place. Would you talk about that one? Would you share that how your home country experience helped you to be here?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So number one, when I was home, everybody told me what you've done will be disregarded, right? Nobody will recognize it in America because it's just, you'll have to start from scratch, which I did have to start from scratch a little bit. But the reason why I was given the internship at ExxonMobil was because of my experience. They looked at it and they said, okay, our company is a global company. We need somebody who's already worked in different places, has solved problems for different people. Even working at the restaurant, they asked me about it and they were like, oh, wow, you are able to navigate yourself from banking into nonprofits into actually working at a restaurant. And you were able to, go through all that. To them, they thought that was great experience. So it's funny that you might think and say, hey, and in fact, I didn't do any technology work for almost 10 years. I was doing something totally different from my degree, right? I didn't practice in my profession for a while. And I thought that would be the worst thing ever, but it ended up being the best thing ever. Even in my current job, the reason why they like me is because I've had such a diverse background. And I've worked with so many different companies. So to date, I have about 14 clients, starting from SAP, going to Nike, going to all these FedEx, Amadeus, companies from across the world that I speak to and I help on their cloud journey. It's my job to understand their business and then figure out how our cloud Azure is going to fit into what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go in terms of their business. Had I not had my background and the fact that I've been able to work with diverse companies, right, in diverse industries, and now I have everything from shoes to ERPs to cars to everything, right? It would have been very difficult to kind of navigate that space. So the experiences that y'all have in your different backgrounds matter. And when you're speaking about your story, talk about them. The more I spoke about my story, which I thought would kind of throw me off, they were impressed. They were like, oh my gosh, you did that, you went through that, you were homeless, you slept on a couch for I don't know how many times. The resilience, your story does matter. So that's why I'm here to tell you that it does translate. When you're doing your resume, yes, of course, you might not have to put all that, but verbally, when you land that interview, bring that out. Talk about what struggles you've gone through and how you've overcome that and the solutions that you've provided to yourself, even if you've never worked anywhere else, right? So they know the corporate world is cutthroat. It's not easy. So for you to survive that, then if you survived all that, then you can survive the corporate world. So
Yes. Thank you so much. Then I'll take another question. Now, it's the OpenAI, ChatGPT. That's why Microsoft, they are saying their stock price is higher than Apple now. I just
yeah,
heard of that.
yeah,
So also we are the academia. Then I did a lot of DevOps with as AWS, and then also I'm encouraging also students to have a lot of AWS. Now, how you can see that the movement of AI, then how you can talk to our student. What do we have to do because of this kind of a ChatGPT and new AI trend?
yeah.
Yes.
All right. Number one, learn everything you can right now, whatever information you can get online about all the stuff that we are doing. For example, we launched maybe about 100 products last year. Yes, I know everybody's talking about Chat GPT and AI, but I really want you to go and dig deep and look at what else we've done, right? The co-pilots that we've launched that will help you with even all the things, all the way from doing your normal day-to-day work, the notebook, the just your search and all that. I want you to go and do your research on that. I know everybody is scared about AI, right? And they're saying, oh, it's come to take our jobs. There might be some changes, but the only way you will be left behind is if not your knowledge is zero about these things, right? So right now, as students, if I was you, and I'm also trying to like make sure that I'm learning and getting the certifications as well, right? As we are going along with this, is to make sure you increase your knowledge base. There's so much that we've put out as Microsoft in terms of, okay, learn about ChatGPT, how it works, how it helps. Make sure you experiment on that, right? Make sure your co-pilots, you know how to use them. So when you come into an interview, you're able to come in and show us your skills, right? And say, remember, most of the stuff that has been put out and most of the stuff that's our full-time employees, they are also trying to learn, right? So if you can come and make it easier for them and tell them, hey, I used your product and this is what I came up with by using your product, you'll be far ahead of somebody else who's coming in and just talking, but not able to say what they've done with the skills or the tools we've already put out. So remember, Google is trying to get into the AI race right about now, and there've been some, there's been a lot of shakeup last month or whatever. They're trying to make sure that they get money enough to now start their own AI division and all that. So every single tech company is going to do that. So what are you going to have to do? Make sure your knowledge base is wide. You understand how it works. You can come in and showcase, okay, I did this presentation by using your Copilot. I was able to do this in an hour, and typically it takes me other people 10 hours. Those are the kind of skills we're looking for, right? So come in, do not be afraid of technology. That's what technology is here to stay. So the best thing to do is to just increase your knowledge base. And guess where you can get all this information? It's free. We put it all out there on YouTube. It's on our website. It's on LinkedIn. We are forever talking about this. You do not have to pay for it. The knowledge is there. So just get ahead of it. And then when you come to the interviews, toot your own horn. Say you're all that in a cup of sugar. That's it. Yeah.
Thank, thank you. I want to let you know, CDU, we are using GitHub Code Spaces for our full stack courses. Of
Exactly.
course, we will include the Copilot. Okay, I'll give a
Exactly.
chance to the student. Yes.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
just experiment with all this and then come and show us this is what I've been doing with your technology. And yeah, and then we'll tell you absolutely we want you to come on board. Maybe you can tell us something we don't know already. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna jump onto the next slide. And so how are you going to make your 2024 magical? Or what would I do if I was in your shoes? Right. Um, as I stand here today, I am a student, a forever student. I want to call myself a lifelong learner, right? I have 5 coaches. I do not do this by myself because I learned early on in 2017 that if I do not get help, I will be left behind, right? So I make sure that as I'm earning my money, that I'm putting it back into my knowledge base. Every time, every morning, I have a routine. I never used to do any of these things. I just thought things would just fall into place. No, things do not just fall into place. All the CEOs, everybody that you see, Satya Nadella, anybody that is out there, the athletes, anybody that is great, they will tell you it doesn't just happen. It takes a lot. They have coaches, they have trainers, they have routines that they stick to that help them become disciplined. And with the discipline comes consistency. And with consistency, the results will just follow. So I don't follow the money. I just do my job and the money will follow me. That's the difference. And so some of the things that I've learned from the great people, and some of my coaches are Robin Sharma, for example. I listen to podcasts from all these people, from Elizabeth Lieber to Joel Austin, because it just inspires me when I'm feeling down. He'll always talk about how great you are, how you have to find those things that remind you how great you are, because the world will beat it out of you. It will. You'll have a bad day at work and you'll go back and you'll say, you know what, I'm giving up. Or you'll apply to the job of your dreams and they will tell you no and you will give up. Or you will apply to that visa and you will be told no and you will give up, right? So you need those people, that your cheerleaders, that remind you that yes, there will be no's, but you're still great. You're still fantastic. And your next opportunity is just around the corner. So apply to something else or knock again or reach out and call that person or network with this person or just go out and speak to strangers. Some of the funniest things is the jobs or the referrals that I get, the clients that I get are not my family. They are people who see me online talking, strangers. So it's funny that strangers will even give you more money than people that know you. So it's always interesting. So do not, you have to surround yourself and you have to train yourself to be excellent and to be trustworthy so that people will want to put money in your pocket. All right. And so some of the things I've learned is, for example, writing in a journal. I never used to journal, but now I do, especially before bed. Why? Because I want to write what are the things that I did right today. And I always just write 1 or 2 things. Today, I woke up on time. I wanted to wake up at 4 a.m. I woke up at 4 a.m. That's a win, right? I wanted to have breakfast at this time. I went to the gym. I worked out. I had 5 difficult meetings and I got through them. Were they fantastic? No. But did I get through them? Yes. Were my clients happy? Yes. So those small wins, because it will get to a point where you forget how much great work you're doing if you don't write it down somewhere. And as you're writing down, sometimes an idea will pop in your head. Maybe I can do this thing differently. If you don't write it down, you'll forget about it and you'll move on. So I've learned how to journal. So if you don't journal, please start. I think it's going to be great for you. The other thing is waking up early. I know people always say people are different. There are people who work well at night and all that, and that's great. But for me, and what I've learned about the great CEOs of this world and the people who are the titans of the industry, they wake up early. So you might have to restructure your days a little bit. I wake up at 4. I know I say join the 5 a.m. club. That's where I started, but I upped it a little bit. I wake up at 4. Why? Because I have a routine, a solid routine that I carry out every day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, every day. Why? Because it's going to set me apart and it's going to help me be better. So I wake up. What do? I wake up, I pray. Some people meditate. I pray and I spend time by myself, just thinking about my day, thinking about my God, thinking about, whatever, just saying thank you to my God and saying, hey, help me through the day. So that's an hour of meditation and just talking to God. And then after that, it's the gym. I go to the gym. I come back from the gym, and by 6:30, I'm showered. I have my breakfast because, of course, I'm hungry at that point. And by 7:30, I'm at my desk, be it at home or I'm going to work. So for us, nobody really cares. You can work from anywhere. Sometimes I'm going to work, but most of the time I work from home. So no matter what, my clients are across the world. So sometimes I have 6 a.m. meetings and I have to wake up a little earlier, right, for those 6 a.m. meetings. And my meetings go all the way as a program manager. Most of the time, I'm spending it in front of people, solving people's problems, understanding what happened yesterday, what's happening today, what's going to happen in the future. And so that's a lot of FaceTime. And so I'll spend a lot of time in meetings, and my meetings will end probably, I try to structure them in such a way that they will end at 1 o'clock or 2, if I've pushed it too far. And then at that point, I can sit back and look at my emails and look at stuff that I actually need to knock out. So by 4 o'clock, I'm done with work. Microsoft is out of my way, done with that. Now I can go ahead and do something else. I'll go for a walk, come back, do some content creation for my own business. And by 5:30, I'm done with work 100%. So now it's time for me to play. I can go take whatever I want to do. I can play with my cats. I can go with my friends. I can do whatever I want to do. So it's important to have a schedule, and it's important to have a routine. If you do not have that, you'll fall by the wayside, right? And I actually schedule everything. So I've talked about weekly planning. I used to just jump into the week and do whatever I wanted. No. If you do not have a plan, it's like being, think about a ship without a destination. You're just going to be in the wind, just doing whatever. You have to have a plan. If you do not have a plan, you'll definitely be wrecked. At the end of the week, you'll be asking yourself, what did I do? Nothing. You did not accomplish anything. So Sunday mornings at 7 a.m., I spend an hour thinking about what do I want my week to look like. I'm going to see my friends. I'll call my family. I will do this. I will eat. I will rest. I will sleep. I schedule everything, including my sleep. And that has helped quite a bit. And it has also helped me become a better friend, because now I schedule my calls. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to call my dad for an hour on this day. And I do. Before, I would take some time before I remember, oh my God, I needed to call my dad, right? But now I've scheduled and I've said, okay, I need to spend time with my family. It's really helped me as well. And then the other thing that I was talking about, how do you make sure that you do not become irrelevant? Read widely. Read everything you can come across. It doesn't always have to be academic. It doesn't always have to be tech, but it can be something that's making your knowledge better, right? And I know in today's world, some people do not like reading, or maybe that's not their preferred form. Then listen to podcasts. When I'm showering in the morning after the gym, what do? I'm listening to a podcast. I'm learning something constantly. When I'm driving, I'm listening to another podcast. It could be something funny. It could, whatever it is. So I'm constantly learning. So when I say read for at least 60 minutes, it might not be me actually reading. It could be me listening to someone, right? That makes me always stay ahead of the curve. If I hear about a technology, I'm going to go to YouTube and find out what is this. As I'm driving 20 minutes to work, those 20 minutes I learn. This is what that is. So that's how you keep abreast of technology, because time is always, you're not going to always to say, I'm going to sit down and read about it. No. So just be curious. And then the other thing is be kind. I'm a leader, and I'm a leader that has always wanted to be kind, because I've had leaders that were not kind. And I used to be scared to go into work, because I know, oh, my boss is going to be there. How is that going to be? Today is going to be such a crazy day, because the environment is just bad, because your boss is, pushy and all that. That's not my philosophy. At Microsoft, where I've worked, at Amazon, I've been very lucky, I think. The bosses that I've had have been extremely kind, and the environment has been really positive. And because of the positivity, everybody does their best work. You do not find somebody saying, oh, it's Monday, I have to go into work again. Oh my God, I'm going to have to see that boss again. Or my boss is calling me, what did I do wrong? There's always that thing of, what have I done wrong? No, it's always, oh, my boss is calling me. Wow, okay, so we're going to discuss something great. That's the kind of leader I want to be, because it produces way better results than if people are fearing you. Okay. And then, so be kind to everybody you meet. You don't know what they're going through. Just be kind. And then be positive as well. The world is very unkind. The world is going to try to make you freak out. Like right now, everybody's talking about AI. Oh my gosh, we're going to be jobless, this and that. No, be positive. Just learn about this technology. Know that no matter what happens, you will always land where exactly you're supposed to land. And remember, how you speak to yourself matters. It doesn't matter what other people tell you, but how you speak to yourself matters. Most of the time, we are our own biggest critics. We are the ones who say we are not smart, we are not this, we are not that, we are not tall enough. No, it has to start from you. Say, I'm all that, I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a leader. When I go in, people want to listen to me. I make changes. When you do that, you believe it and you actually go and do it. It starts from the mind and how you speak about yourself. And then speak like a leader. Do not speak. I don't take excuses. I don't like, oh my gosh, I was born here and this and that. And so that's why I can't succeed. I'm a Black person. I'm an Indian person. I'm a Jewish person. Everybody has something. Okay. Something has happened to everybody. So now what? Now that I'm a Black person, then what? Right? That's the thing. It doesn't matter. How am I contributing to society? My experiences have made everybody better. Your experience will make us better because you have empathy, you know where it hurts, and then you know how to make it better because you've been hurt before. So use that to your strength as opposed to using it as, I can't do this because I'm Black. No. I can do this because I'm Black and I've been through it. Yeah. So use that to to the best of your ability. And so I'm going to jump a little bit because we're running a little bit out of time. So what virtues do I want you to deepen in 2024? And I promise in the next slide, we'll talk about your career. So I want you to stop and to remove energy vampires from your life. There's always that one person that when you speak to them, when you're done, you feel like the world is coming to an end. Like the apocalypse is upon us. Things are just bad. Just everything is bad. Every time they might be your siblings, they might be your best friends, whatever they might, but there's somebody around you that when you associate with them, your heart is so heavy every time. I want you to shut that person out. I want you to remove them. And I know if it's your sister or brother, you cannot be able to technically remove them completely, but distance yourself because that energy will not serve you well. It will just make you doubt yourself. It will make you feel like it will bring out the worst in you. So surround yourself with as many positive people as you can because you're the sum total of the people that you surround yourself with, right? And then learn how to say no. Now, I put this here because last year was a hard year for me. I said yes to a lot of things. And last year was hard. My dad was sick for 3 months. I had a full-time job. I had my career coaching program was taking off. Everything was happening at the same time. And then family, and then everybody was saying, getting married, whatever. I said yes to a lot of things. And I burned out. I burned out completely. So this year, I'm going to say no to quite a number of things. I learned I'm going to stick to the 5 things I want to do, and whatever else I'm going to say no to. Not because I don't love my people, but because I realized it's taken me, almost a month or so to just feel like a human being again. So learn how to say no and don't make promises you can't keep. People will be mad for a while, but they will get used to it. They'll be fine. Life will continue. So work hard. There's no other way around it. I told you guys in my story how much I applied, right? I applied a lot. When I decide to do something, I go after it like a lion, like a tiger, like I do not give up. So you cannot be the kind of person that's telling me when I ask you, so how many applications did you do last week? You tell me, oh, I did 5 quality. No. Per day, I expect you to do at least 30, at least. So it could be more. It could be 50 per day. applications, quality ones. So if you're looking for a job, that's how serious you have to be about it, because nobody's going to hand you anything unless your father is Trump or somebody, right? But if that's not the case, then you're just like the rest of us. It's just going to have to take your work and your dedication and your skills, because somebody somewhere will eventually see you. But how will they see you if you're not actually knocking, right? So you're smart, work hard at school, get your papers, make sure you have that. Do not fail. I'm not telling you to fail, but I want you to work quite as hard as you're working for your diploma. I want you to work the same way for your jobs, because what is your return on investment when all this is said and done? It's that job, right? And so another thing is, be confident in yourself. If you're not confident, nobody's going to be confident for you. If you're not going to come in and tell me I'm all that and a cup of sugar and I'm coming to solve your problem, why would I hire you? Why? I'm not going to build your confidence for you. So you have to be the one to come in and say, hey, I am that person that you've been looking for. I'm that intern that is going to come and turn this company around. In fact, I'm going to be your future CEO, because I can tell you these are your problems and this is how I think we can solve them. Be bold. This is America. In America, if you're not bold, it's different. In my culture, it's the opposite. You're supposed to be demure and humble and all that. But in the corporate world, the people who speak are the ones who get fed. The ones who do not speak and are not confident, they do not get fed. So be confident, speak, even if you're speaking nothing, because trust me, some people speak nothing and I'm like, what did you just say? But they're the ones who are at the top. Why? Because they speak. So be confident and just learn that confidence doesn't come naturally, but you can practice and get it. There are people who are naturally confident. I'm not. I practice quite a bit before I'm like, yeah, okay, now I feel like I can go do it. So don't feel like if it doesn't come naturally, then it's not going to work. No, just keep practicing, keep appearing in rooms, do it afraid. At some point, it will become natural. And you will realize everybody's always kind of afraid. They just don't show it. Yeah, that's the truth. All right, and then moving on to the next slide now. How do you land your dream job in 2024? That's really the thing, your return on investment. While you're in school today, I know most of you want to work in tech. Some of you want to go and hopefully you're going to give us even more tools better than AI, or use AI to, I don't know, bring out something fantastic in the future. We are waiting for you. But how do you make sure that you're preparing today for your future, right? So I want you to do a couple of things for me. I want you to research your 10 to 15 to 20 companies that you want to work in, be it internship, be it your dream job. And I don't, as I said, I don't care whether you're an international student. I don't care any of that. Remove those fences that you've already put for yourself. That's what the world is telling you. But with the right attitude and the right approach, the companies will sponsor you. They will. I remember at Microsoft, I didn't need sponsorship back then, but somehow when I was applying, I think I ticked that I needed sponsorship. So they hired me knowing that they would have to like have lawyers and people and everybody kind of go to bat for me and get me a work permit and all that. So when they told me, when they were orienting me and they told me, oh, your lawyer should be contacting you next week, I was like, which lawyer? For what reason? They're like, oh, you ticked that you need sponsorship. So we are going to have a lawyer help you work through your situation. And I'm like, I actually don't. Maybe I ticked it by mistake. That proved to me that companies don't care about your situation. They will hire you if you're the right hire, and they will do whatever it takes to keep you. So remove those barriers that you put in your mind because the world is telling you, oh, you know, you're an international student, oh, this and that. No, just become so great that when they interview you, they're like, we don't care whether we have to jump whichever hoops. This is the person we're going to get. Right? So let's have that attitude. So how do you do that? By researching your company. So your 15, 20 companies, research them, follow them on social media, understand what they're doing, understand what tools they're launching, their products, everything. And as you're understanding them, you'll start to understand what problems they have, right? So when you go into your interviews, you'll know what to talk to them about. So it all starts today. You have to research your companies before you even apply to them. And so when you're writing those resumes, you know what you're writing about. It's not just a generic resume, right? You've read your job description, you know what the problem is. So when you're writing your resume, it's hitting all the points about what they're looking for because you understand their problems. Now, apply for internships early. Early. Remember, I told you the first day of my entrance to grad school is when I started looking. I did not wait until the second semester. I did not wait until the third semester. I started day one. And as an international student, especially, you need to start day one because everybody else kind of has time. They live here, they have work authorization here, so they have the time. You don't. So you have to do more. So you have to start now. If you did not start, don't feel bad, start today, right? As we go off this call, I want you to make your resumes. I want you to start looking at those internships, those companies. And as an international student, you need to have at least 200 companies that you're looking at because very few sponsor, right? So you're targeting those few that sponsor. But at the same time, you never know whether these others might actually also give you an opportunity. So just don't say, okay, this company says they don't sponsor, just apply. You never know because you might be so great that they change their policy just for you. You don't know, so just apply. For jobs, you same approach. You have to start early. There's no other way around it. And during the pandemic, jobs were easy to get. I know you guys have all seen this year. My brother was laid off last year and it took him, 3 months to get a job. That would never have happened during the height of the pandemic. Within a week, you'd probably have another job. So the job market right now is a little bit shaky. So it's taking us longer to get jobs. So that's what I'm telling you. It's gonna take work, but it's absolutely doable. This is America. The economy is great. Microsoft is hiring as opposed to everybody else who's laying off. So please apply at Microsoft. We just had a meeting yesterday and we were told, yay, finally we have money. We can go do this and that. So apply for internships. We have internships, I think hiring is starting pretty soon. So if you've not had your applications in, please go ahead. Full-time positions for program managers, for whatever. And as I told you, Microsoft is like an entire world. Just because one department tells you no, so what? Apply again to somewhere else. Same thing to Amazon, that's like an entire world. ExxonMobil is like all these companies are huge. So don't be discouraged because one manager somewhere sat down and said, this is not the right fit. That's just one person in like a huge pool of people. Stay up to date with industry trends. I think we've talked about that. Get a career coach. We've talked about that. Keep learning. Show off your skills. The skills I'm telling you about, the AI skills, the tools you're using at school, all that stuff. Come and show off. Go on LinkedIn and say how you've used ChatGPT for 1, 2, 3 things that you're doing today. I will see it and I'll be like, this person is awesome. Oh my God, we need to get this person in our team. Show off your skills on social media. It's going to help you. And another thing is resumes. I don't need even to talk to you about that. Your resume has to be on point. You have to, if you don't know how to do it, contact me, contact a career coach, let them help you get your resume to look really, really good. And another thing that people underrate is LinkedIn. Are you on LinkedIn? If you're not on LinkedIn in this day and age, I'm sorry to tell you that chances of you getting hired is like 0.01%, very, very little. You have to be on LinkedIn and you have to go and look at how people have done their LinkedIn profiles, because go and look at how I've done my LinkedIn profile, for example. It screams, I'm all that and a cup of sugar. It's your brand. If nobody can find you, even if you're great, then nobody cares, right? So you guys are great. You have great education. Now we just need to shout to the world and tell them you're here. You're here. You're here. That's what LinkedIn is for, and that's what social media should be for. And I know you all love TikTok. I do. We love all those funny stuff that people do there. It's great, and Instagram and everything. But if you're not using it to bring money into your pocket, do not use it. And by money into your pocket, I don't mean doing crazy stuff, because that stuff will follow you for the rest of your life. I mean, brand yourself, talk about your career, talk about your tech, talk about why you're the right person to hire. So all the time, talk about that, right? Have a good professional photo, do all those things. Look at my profile, it's very professional, because people respond to that. They will see and say, okay, this is somebody I think I can trust and can hire for my company. So please, please, get on LinkedIn if you've not gotten onto it already. That's going to be your bread and butter. And lastly, practice interviewing at least once a week or twice a week, at least for 2 hours. Put a 2-hour slot where you're practicing interviewing. Nothing comes naturally just like that. You will get into an interview and freeze, and you will not know what to say because you've not practiced, right? So YouTube University, I call it YouTube University. There are so many people talking about what questions are being asked, how to answer them properly. Use them to help you to practice. Then by the time you get to your interview, it will be so seamless. It will just be like a conversation you're having, right? And you always want it to be a conversation because it feels natural and you come off as natural. And lastly, trust yourself. You got this. You're all that. You're in America. God damn it. Let me just say that for a second. Sorry, excuse me. You made it. You're here. So trust yourself. You're the person we are looking for. We just need to find you. That's all. So trust yourself. And of course, use me. If you're applying to Microsoft, I'm happy to, be your thinking board. I'm happy to recommend you. Reach out to me. Follow me on my social media. And lastly, I just want to tell you, all dreams are very valid. If a girl like me from nowhere, nobody knows the village, nobody even cares about, can be here, then you are way ahead of me. You can be way better than I am. So I expect to see you guys all the way there. And when you're there, you better say, hey, Joanne, remember you taught in our school at some point? Yeah, say hey to me. I'll be happy to say hey back. So remember, Lupita is also from Kenya, and that's why I put her here, because she inspired me so much. And I looked at her as a Black girl who's come to America and won an Oscar, and I was like, what's the difference between her and me? Nothing. We were born in the same place. I mean, we can all go and do it. And she said it very well. All dreams are valid. So, all right, that's it. Guys, thank you. If you have any questions, and I'll leave this, my social media, you can follow me. It's always Joanne Marime everywhere. So that's it. Thanks.
Joanne, thank you. These are wonderful points. We had a student worker meeting this morning, and I think that we talked about this within our meeting, especially the fact that we want people to start interviewing as much. They should be spending time interviewing as they are studying.
Exactly. Exactly. It has to be in parallel. It does not, you cannot say I'm studying and I'm neglecting the idea that I actually have to get a job when it's all said and done. They have to be together. They go together.
And the other point I'd like to make, I looked at who was here. We have a few American core students. We have a preponderance of international students, and we are recording this. And one of the things I'm going to say is that the advice that you are giving is for all students.
Exactly.
And we have very successful international students because they are motivated. Well, I'm going to say the same thing to our American students. The job market is there, go for it. Now, are there other questions that people would like to ask Joanne, since she's giving so much of herself to us right now? Okay, we have a hand raised.
This is Manjot. I would like to ask a question. First of all, great talk. Really inspired by your schedule, first of all. I've been trying to do it for a very long time. I managed to close it to 7 a.m. or 6:30 in the morning, but not the 5 a.m. But yeah, definitely I'll try to do that. The question that I have is your journey to entrepreneurship, right? Working in corporate and then starting your entrepreneurship. So, at what point do you feel like you're ready to get into the entrepreneurship? Is it the idea that kicks that thing that okay, I want to do this, or is it the skills in yourself that you believe okay, now I'm ready, I know a few things, I want to start something of my own? Was it that inspired you to like start your journey to being an entrepreneur?
That's interesting, and that's a great question. It really wasn't that I was ready. In fact, I still don't feel like I'm ready. Most of the time, I'm like, I'm still shaking in my boots, even today, even when I'm just doing, because my vision is so big. When I look at it, I say, oh my God, this is really big, right? So I don't think you will ever get to a point where you say you're ready, right? But the thing is this. I'd worked in corporate for a while. And I remember before starting my journey out of grad school, there was one professor that spoke, I guess, words of faith. And professors, please speak words of faith into your students, because he spoke faith into me. And he said, Joanne, in 5 years, if you're still not doing, like the stuff that I expect you to be, if you're still not on your business, if you're still not helping people because you're so great, I expect you to start helping people and doing something different, at least as soon as possible. I don't expect you to be just in corporate America and that's it, and you just got a job and that's it. And he spoke about it like 5 years ago, and I forgot about it, right? And then once I had, I guess, a little bit of, okay, now I know the corporate world, I understand how it works. It just was a feeling in me that kept telling me, Joanne, you need to start a business. It just started growing bigger and bigger, and I couldn't shut it out. So finally, I said, you know what? I'm going to get a coach to help me understand how to start an online business. And so I just found somebody who was successful, and I paid them and they helped me. And I didn't even know what I wanted to do at that point. I just knew I wanted to start a business. So just to make it clear, I did not say, oh my God, I'm going to be a career coach. No, they just started from the fundamentals of asking me, what do you like doing? What are you already doing today that you do so well? And, you've helped a lot of people with, and you don't have to struggle with it. What is that thing that people are asking you to help them all the time with, and you're doing it already? And so there were so many things, but the things that I've done is I've helped quite a number of people in their careers. I've done resumes for my people, my friends, all that stuff. And I love and I enjoy doing it. And she was like, then that's the thing you should monetize. So that's how it worked, right? So I know it's hard to think about what it is that you want to do, but you can help somebody you can find someone who is a clarity coach, and they'll help you get clear on what it is that you want to do and how to go about doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, Ali.
Hey, how are you doing? Thank you for your
Good.
great presentation. I have a question. As you
Yeah.
said, there is a really shaky market right now. There are a bunch of layouts from Google's and everywhere else. So there is a point, for example, for me as a student at the middle of the way to get my degree, it's better to apply for internship. But do you suggest that apply for the role that's requirement, the full education, for example, for master or uh, bachelor or anything else?
I would say, so are you doing your undergrad or are you doing your master's?
Masters.
Okay, so I would
But
say,
my bachelor was irrelevant, so I
why
passed
would
the
you say
first.
it was irrelevant? What did you do in your undergrad?
I study art and architecture.
It's not irrelevant. I promise you,
Okay.
it's not. Nothing is irrelevant. Never say it's irrelevant.
Okay.
If anything, use it as a launch pad. So do not undersell yourself, because the first question they're going to ask is, you're overqualified. Because anytime you say you have a master's, no matter what you did in your undergrad, everybody understands undergrad is kind of like a place where you're trying to find yourself, right? So it's understood. So don't say it's irrelevant, because it brought you to where you are today.
Okay.
So go for the master's, just apply for it. Do not feel like, oh, I have just entry level is fine if it's a new industry. For example, if you're going into tech and you've never really worked in it, like as I was going into finance, I'd not done finance before. So I started as a finance analyst, right? So I started at the base, but I was being paid 6 figures anyway. So do not worry because of the fact that I had a master's.
Okay.
Okay. So do not let that derail you. Just go for it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
Are there any other questions?
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Joanne, I want to thank you. I want to have a virtual coffee with you myself.
Yes.
Because everything that you are saying is so spot on. And I am confident that our people will take advantage of this. I'm off to a professional meeting, ISSA.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you. If there are there any other questions? Lakshmipathy, would you please end this because you arranged it, and I want to thank you.
Yeah, sure, Morgan. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne, for joining this event. And this is very helpful for the students. Thanks for your motivation and advice on career guidance. That helps a lot. That inspires your journey is inspiring.
Absolutely. No, thank you guys. And friend me on LinkedIn if you have any questions or you're thinking about maybe something you were not able to ask here. Just DM me and I'll be happy to answer as well.
Sure.
So thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a
All
great
right,
day.
bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.